All right, welcome to our team call today. I am so excited to be here with you guys. Last month was fun, and I know it was also busy because I think everybody here is a mama. So I get that with end of school and work and everything else. Totally get the busyness, but I know that you can. Oh, did I lose you guys?
We
Are you
can
guys
hear
there?
you.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we can hear
gosh.
you.
Okay, sorry. The screen just like went away, and I was like, everyone's gone. Where did they go? I don't know what I bumped. Okay, so I know from experience that you can still run a business through the craziness of summer because I've done it for 4 years. I think this is my fifth summer or my fourth summer. I don't know, but I've done it. And I remember the first year just thinking, I am crazy. Why did I think that I could do this? But you guys, I've done it and I've only gotten better each year at managing motherhood and business life. And so I'm excited over the summer and over like this call and other things to give you guys systems and tidbits that will help you guys run your business smoothly. So one thing that I realized like in the beginning when I first started was that I was just kind of scattered all over the place because in my mind, I didn't have any system down to what I was doing. And so it just felt very, very messy. But the more that you develop systems and patterns and habits around your business, the easier it will become to be able to run smoothly through the summer. So, um, we're going to get into that in just a minute, but I did want to touch on really quick that it is triple points for the leaders retreat. This is okay. I've had to explain this to a few people. Your rank points are different than your leaders retreat points. So if you're new here and you're like, I don't get, or like the PV points. Like I've had people be like, well, it says my points are this. And I'm like, no, your points aren't 300. That's your PV. These are your points for rank up. And then this is your points for leaders retreat. Okay. So when you go into your back office, you're going to click virtual office and then you're going to see all these different things and it's going to say PV. That's how much PV in product that you've ordered. Right below that, that's going to say points and rank. If you click on points and rank, then it's going to pull up a screen and it's going to show everybody ordering under you. But if you scroll past points and rank and you go a little lower, it's going to show you your leaders retreat points and they're all different. So for leaders retreat, until the 15th, we get triple points on every enrollment, which is massive. If you're trying to earn the cruise, if you're trying to earn the shopping spree, you guys, you want to enroll as many people before the 15th. And so don't wait till the end of the month to enroll. And what I see with people that are pushing really hard at the beginning of the month, they'll get three in the beginning of the month. And then all of a sudden they're like, whoa, I just got three more at the end of the month because what they did in the beginning of the month rolled over to the end of the month. Does that make sense? All like, or I'll see people that don't work very much throughout the month. And then at the end of the month, they push, push, push. And they're like, I didn't get any enrollments. But the beginning of the next month, they get enrollments because oftentimes it's what we're doing now. We see results for, a little bit down the road. So be patient with the process, but just keep showing up and connecting with people and posting and doing all the things that you know move the needle in your business. Okay. So focus on getting three before the 15th. And Jess is in SeaWorld today, but I reached out to her and I was like, we should do something fun for anybody that gets three before the 15th. So we are brainstorming on like ways to just make it fun to earn that. I'm not sure what it is yet. I don't know. If there's anything that comes to mind, you guys message me and be like, think of how fun this would be. Like maybe we'll do like a free shirt or something cute to earn when you get three before the 15th. So keep it in mind. We're going to do something fun for that. Um, but I'm super excited because we are going to go over a few things today that we haven't gone over in a while. We're going to have Amanda talk about her takeaways from chapter 5 in the book that, I recommended for everyone to read. I don't know if you've read it or not. And even if you haven't, her takeaways will still teach you something. And then Kelly Black is here on the call today. She is not in my downline, but she oftentimes gets on this call because we are sideline sisters that support each other. And I am so dang excited for her to share about her journey. She just hit Sr Gold this last month, you guys. So I think I'm going to let Kelly go first just because she has a baby, just in case her baby wakes up. if that's okay, and then I'll have Amanda go. But I just want to introduce Kellie real quick. Okay. So Kellie, I was like, how long have you been doing the business? She said she's been doing it about 2.5 years and she just hit Sr Gold. And the reason why I asked her to share is because oftentimes we see people that grow really, really, really fast and we get so discouraged. And I was one of them because when I first started, I thought that I had fast growth. I had people reaching out being like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I thought I was growing fast. And then all of a sudden, this sideline of mine, Sammy Stewart, came along and she outranked me and like very, very quickly. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I can't do this. I got totally in my head with comparison. But there's something really, really beautiful and sticking with the process and developing yourself and having that long-term vision. And I know as I see people do this, they grow as a person. And I see also that their results really do compound over time, right? So I like to compare it to the bamboo. I don't know if you guys have ever learned about bamboo, but bamboo takes 5 years to grow under the surface. Like you don't see the fruits of the labor at all of planting bamboo plants. I don't know if you knew this, but you have to fertilize it and you have to water it. And if you don't, it won't grow. So you have to do all these things to nourish the soil and to take care of it and to develop it, right? And then all of a sudden, in a matter of like, I wish I should have looked it up right before this just came to mind, but it is like a matter of like a couple days or a couple months, it starts growing like super, super fast. Like I think it grows like several inches a day. Like it just suddenly flies up and there's these big bamboo shoots. And so I think about my business a lot of times is that when things feel slow for me, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And then I'm like, no, there is growth. The results just haven't shown yet on the surface, right? But the growth is happening inside, the growth is happening underneath of the surface, and everything's happening. And so I asked Kellie to share because I have felt so inspired by her, and I've had several opportunities to talk to her at different retreats and things like that. And I just think that her growth, like I've been able to see it. And I don't work directly with her like every day, but I noticed a shift about 60 days ago in her social media. Like there was something about the way she was posting and showing up. I was like, what's going on? Like my brain perked up. And then it was so interesting because I didn't even know she was close to ranking, but I felt more attracted to her. And then all of a sudden she ranked up and I'm like, I knew it. Like I knew this chick was in momentum. So I'm just so excited for her to share her journey with you. Kellie, will you share with us whatever's on your heart? We'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Nicole. This means so much to me. I may get emotional because honestly, I didn't know if this could happen for me. So I started sharing 2.5 years ago. And at the time, like I was really interested in just my health, trying to just feel better. I had these chronic migraines and I just wanted to see if this would help with my migraines. And, at the time I just felt like I really couldn't afford it. And so I actually started sharing pretty early because I wanted to offset my cost. And that was like really my only motive, like was to cover my products. And, and it was really slow for me. I mean, I think I got my first enrollment that first month. And then I like ranked silver like 2 months later, and and getting that bonus was nice. Like it was just exciting. But it was a slow process for me. It just seemed like it took forever to rank up to senior silver. I mean, I would get so close and then someone would turn their sub off and it was like I was spinning my wheels. And I just felt like I was getting nowhere, and that it almost seemed impossible for me to grow. And so I don't know what it was, but like in the very beginning, I didn't really have a plan of why I was doing this. The only thing that I could think of was I just wanted to cover my products. And so I feel like that could have been part of it, of why I was growing slower, because I didn't really have a vision of where I was going. I just wanted to cover my products. And so I think that was part of it. And then also my husband was having a really hard time with me doing an MLM. He was having a hard time supporting me, and that was really hard. And I just felt like it was almost pulling me back in my journey and growing, because I felt like I couldn't grow if he didn't support me, which seems crazy. But he has come such a long ways, and he has been so supportive and encouraging, just in this last year. And I think that has really helped me to grow as well. And then in the very beginning, I did have a couple situations that was really hard when I reached out to people, and they, were very blunt and very rude, and it almost made me quit. I had some really hard things in the very beginning. And so I think with all that, it just took a while for me to get out of my shell and to really grow. And so I remember last May, I just had my baby, and I was really debating on going to the St. George retreat because she was so new. I think she was like 5 weeks old. And, but then I decided, like, towards the end, like, when it was like coming up to the time that the retreat was going to be, I was just like, I really feel like I need to be there. And so I made it work. I went, and I'm so glad I did. At that retreat, I really did feel like I was kind of feeling bad a little bit because I didn't have a team. Like, I didn't have anyone there with me. Like, it's nice to be together and to, we have such an incredible community, and I really feel that love support. But at the same time, it was hard because I didn't have anyone there doing it with me, underneath me. And I could see, my silent sisters having their teams and just the unity that they had. And I really was wanting that. And I just remember feeling like I just did not know how to create a silver. I'm like, that just seems so impossible to me. Like, how do you even like get someone to go silver, And so right after that retreat, I came home, and it's funny because like everything changed for me after that retreat. I had a lady reach out to me, and she had actually been on the products before, but then had quit. And she had reached out to me and just said, hey, I want to do this for my daughter, and I want to do it with her. And so I mentioned the referral program, and she was just like, okay, let's do it. And she did like a shout out post, and she had a lot of interest, and she signed up someone the next day. So she had her daughter, and then this other lady, and then she got another one. And so she ranks fast start silver really fast, which like blew my mind. And then she really just changed my business. She pushed me to gold, which was incredible. But I think going through all these different shifts, I really feel like I've had to learn a lot along the way. Like, if I would have grown really fast in the beginning, I don't think I would have been able to keep a strong team, because I would have known how to help and support them. And so I feel like I've had to learn a lot along the way. And so she ranks fast start gold. And so that really shifted my business. And then I've been able to maintain gold for the last year. And so I knew I was getting closer. And so I really wanted to rank Sr Gold this month, being like a year later. And which was really cool because like a few months ago, so last fall and like the winter, it was just so slow for me. Like there was like nothing happening. But I kept digging in. I kept being consistent, just showing up every single day, even on the days I didn't feel like it. I just kept showing up and being consistent. And it was a couple months ago, I had a girl reach out to me, and she just said, hey, I would like to learn more about being a partner with you. And I was like, yeah, of course, like, I'd love to help you, And so so anyway, so that was just like a cool experience, how she like reached out to me wanting to like do this with me. And I think a lot of it was she just wanted to get her products covered, really. And so I was like, yeah, great, so I actually got her on a call with Christy. Christy did a what is plexus call, and then she did a business call too. And I got this girl on that call, and I think like there was a shift in her. I mean, it was like a light bulb switch. It was just, she's like, oh my gosh, like she was on fire. She just, Christy Christy just lit something in her. I mean, she was just like, okay, let's do this, you know. And so I suggest, just if Christy does a call, or Katie or anyone, just try to get your prospects on their calls, because it really does help. I'm trying to think. I have so many thoughts, and Nicole asked me this morning, so I'm trying to like gather all my thoughts, because it's been such an incredible journey. So so she, hold on, sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought. So that was really something that I felt like was good, was her just getting on that call. And then I felt like I was having to hold her hand a little bit, like in the very beginning, because she wasn't like really posting on her own. And I was like having to reach out and say, hey, like I think it might be a good time to post again. Have you thought of more people to reach out to? And so I was really having to hold her hand. But then, like I said, like something just switched, and she was just like, I want to do this. And so she has really changed my business so much, just having like her. And then she got her cousin underneath her, and her cousin's been on fire, just really digging in, really just doing the scary things. And so like it's crazy, because like I ranked Sr Gold, but I really do feel like it was a team effort. Like I couldn't have done it on my own. It was my whole entire team digging in, doing the scary things, making it happen. And towards that last little bit, like we had a countdown going on, like, okay, like so many points until like we rank, you know. And I just told them, like, with helping me rank, like it's gonna help all of you rank too. And so everyone was excited, everyone was digging in. I mean, so many of them, I think I had like 22 enrollments last month, just because everyone was digging in, doing the scary things. I think what has helped me though was it has just been being consistent, and just doing it every single day, even when I haven't felt like it. um I was listening to a podcast the other week, and something really stood out to me. This was I think it was Brooke Castillo, but she said, go after what you want, not because once you get there you'll feel satisfied, but you'll become who you are in the process. And I truly believe that, because like, yeah, like right now I want to, rank up, and I want to grow, and I want to do all these things. But if I would have done it really fast, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I wouldn't have grown into the person that I am today. And so it's definitely been a learning curve and a learning process, because I'm improving myself as well. So that's been really cool to watch, is just seeing the growth in myself in the process. And I mean, it does get discouraging when other people like beside you are ranking up and going really fast and doing all these things. Like even after I ranked, there's a few other ones that ranked up, and they were like in a fast start window. And then like people are earning the cruise already. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like me personally, I felt like I was doing well. But then when I compare myself to someone else, I'm like, I'm actually really behind, And I think it could really mess with our minds when we start comparing. And I was thinking today, instead of comparing to your sideline or your, even your upline and their journey, compare compare yourself now to yourself a year ago, and compare like the growth. Because last year I was still, I don't know, I just felt like I was kind of more bashful, and I was more hesitant, and I had a hard time talking about the business, and like telling people what I do. But now it's like there's been a shift where I've let go of other people's opinions. I don't care what they think of me, because this is what I'm doing, and this is what I have found joy in. And comparison is really the thief of joy. I truly believe that. And so I think just keeping your head in your own lane makes a world of difference, because comparison can, you know, do crazy things to you, you know, like with your mindset and your growth. And so I really do feel like just staying in your own lane, being consistent, and just just being consistent, and just linking arms with your downline, your downline, just linking arms has helped so much. I mean, I have a couple girls underneath me, and we just have linked arms, and we have just dug in together. And I really think that has made such a difference. And even in like looking back in my slow months, I really feel like those times, just like what you were talking about, Nicole, was like those months have led me to now being in momentum and growing and building a team and being the leader that I was always meant to be. You know, like if I would have grown fast, I don't think I could have been the leader that I am today. And it's been really cool because a couple of my girls have told me like that I'm such a great leader, and that they just admire me so much, and that they, you know, just give me all these great compliments, which has been great. But at the same time, it's hard to see that in yourself. And so I feel like, you know, like you're doing better than what you think you are, and others see that in you. And it has just been a great journey, and I'm just so grateful that I've been able to reach this far. It hasn't always been easy. It's been hard work, and it's taking self-doubt. But I think the biggest thing is just believing that you can do it, because everyone is capable. They just have to believe. Also, I think what shifted for me was at the beginning of the year, I told myself, I'm tired of playing small. And I think that has really helped me to get out of my shell and to grow and to do the scary things. I mean, I've been hosting events. I've been, you know, just doing more. I've been trying to create a community here, and just trying to, you know, like reach more people. And I think that has really helped me to grow as well. And so, you know, get comfortable by getting uncomfortable, because that's really when growth happens. And so anyways, that's a little bit about my story and my business journey. But it has taken me a while to get here, but it's I'm just so proud that I've stuck through it, and that I've gotten to this point, because it's something that I didn't think that I would be able to reach. And so it's really cool to blow your own mind, and to just to do it. So I hope that helps encourage anyone, because like I've definitely have had my discouragements and my self-doubts, but I think just believing in yourself that you can do it makes such a difference, and then just being consistent.
Oh my gosh, I love your story. And I can see so much of your story in myself, but also in so many of my team members that I've talked to. Like a lot of us experience similar things along the way. And it might be at different times, it might be in different scenarios, but we're going through different things, and we're learning how to manage our emotions around that scenario. And we're also learning how to believe in ourselves, because this business is all about belief in ourselves. Like it's so easy to look at someone else that's going faster than us and believe in them, but not believe in us, because our timeline and our story looks different than theirs. And I know that feeling of discouragement when somebody blows past you, when they do it in 2 months, and it takes you 2.5 years, you know, and you're just like, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. Your timeline is just different. And the truth is you're still growing and developing, and you can't compare yourself to their journey, because the reason why they might have done it quicker than you is because they already went through all the things that you went through 7 years prior. Like, do you know what I mean? They already had to work through those obstacles and those hardships and those, you know, the disbelief in themselves in a different scenario. And so when they got here, they were able to like go way quicker. When I got here, I had so many doubts about myself, but I have truthfully learned that when you believe, you do. They're the same thing. Belief and doing, they go together. They go hand in hand. And I've been reading this book, and it says here, something is called sure enough syndrome, he calls it. He says, if you expect to fail, sure enough, you will. If you expect to succeed, sure enough, you will. You will become on the outside what you believe on the inside. And I noticed that multiple times Kellie said, I just finally like decided I wasn't going to play small. I just finally decided I was going to go for it. I just started believing that I could. Like you said that multiple times throughout what you were saying. And I'm like, yes, because there's like every time before I rank up, I have this moment where I'm like, I already am there. My points just haven't caught me yet. Like in my mind, in the way that I show up, in my heart, in my belief, I'm like, I'm already there. Like I thought that on my walk last night. I was like, I'm already a sapphire. Like literally, like it just hit me like in my brain. The words came in so strong. It was like, I'm already a sapphire, baby. My points just haven't caught up yet. And I know that quickly after they will catch up because energetically I'm a match. And energetically, you're now a match for Sr Gold. And then getting to Ruby, you're going to have to become an energetic match for Ruby too, where you have that belief in yourself. And sometimes we rank up quickly, or sometimes it takes a long time to get to one rank, and then the next rank just like comes so fast because a lot of the work that you did on yourself to get there is the same work that it takes to get to the next rank. And truthfully, like when you said, like you had to really hold their hand, these new people, you had to follow up and hold their hand and encourage them and tell them what to do. You guys, your new people don't know what to do. So if they're not doing anything, oftentimes it's not because they don't want to, it's because they don't know what to do. And so checking in with them or encouraging them or, saying, hey, you haven't posted in a while. This would be a great post or things like that. Like it's not pushy. They can say no, you know what I mean? But at least they know that you're there because they're struggling with not believing in themselves just like you used to. So you have to lend them your belief a little bit and show them the way a little bit and be that light for them because they're struggling through the same things. And that's why you're the perfect coach for them because you just went through all of that and you learned that skill and now you can teach them that skill. So the other thing I like that you said is pretty much everything that you did was using a system. You're like, I got her on a call that someone else was doing. You didn't even have to do it, like you just invited them. Hey, don't yell. They're in the other room or in the backyard. Go that way. You just invited them to come to something that was already done for you. And so that's another thing is like use the system, you guys. Like the things that move the needle in your business are actually a lot more simple than you think. And you might invite 10 people to a call and they might say yes and not get on, or they might say no, or they might ignore you. But then that one person gets on and they are mind blown, like what Kellie was saying. And they're like, I want to do this. I caught the vision. I'm so excited. Like they feel that energy. That's why I always say like retreats, convention, calls, like get people to those because that's where people really get ignited. I know every single one of you here felt ignited from the connection that you felt in one of those three things, you know? So use the systems. Like Kellie, would you say like the top three things that you've done consistently is post, like invite to a call or a group and follow up? Like, is there anything you would add to that? Are those the top three things that you've done consistently the last like 2.5 years or the
Yeah.
last year or whatever, where you've had a lot of growth?
Yes, I've been, posting follow up, inviting people, all those things I've been doing.
Yeah. And is there anything else you would add to those three things that I missed? Personal development?
Yeah, I feel like also doing the 60-day challenge that Kimberly's doing has really helped me to work on my mindset and to have more belief in myself and confidence. So I am like, I can do this. I am capable of doing this and I am capable of ranking up and growing my team. And so I really feel like just doing the little challenges it's been huge for me. And I have really been trying to be more intentional with my time spent doing plexus because it can be hard trying to balancing mom life, being a wife, being plexus, like all the things. It can be hard to balance it all. And so I think just setting out like a couple hours or how many hours you want to do a week, setting that aside and just being intentional with your time, not scrolling Facebook or Instagram because that's really easy to do, but being intentional that time with your reach outs and your posting and, like building relationships is huge. And so, yeah, I think,
Totally. Because
yeah.
it's easy to scroll and be like, well, I was thinking about it, so it felt like I was doing it, but I was really just scrolling and then nothing happened, right? So I love
Mhm.
that you're like being intentional with your time. You guys, if you're not part of that 60-day consistency challenge, it's not too late to start. Like literally, if you haven't done any of it, just go back to post 1 and be like, I'm just going to start today. Because it's not like she's going to take the post down. They're going to be there all summer. So start on post 1. There's been a couple podcasts and things she shared that I just like loved so much. And I need to be better at like commenting that I've done the work and saying it so that people can see that energy in the group. But doing the work is actually really simple. It just takes focus and that discipline to show up a little bit every single day. And then also the patience to know that sometimes the timing of when we want a goal to happen doesn't always happen right when we want it. But that does not mean that the growth is not happening under the surface, you guys, just like those bamboo shoots that I was talking about. Sometimes there's so much growth happening below the surface, and you just don't see it until all of a sudden the growth shoots up all of a sudden, and you get one new leader that gets another new leader. And like, it's so funny because a lot of times it will happen all at once. It's like you get a leader and she gets a leader. And then all of a sudden you've grown by 150 points and you're like, it took me a year to grow by 150 points and she just did that in a month. Like it's so crazy how it happens, but it really is possible for you. And I love the example that she is about this. I'm also going to read another quote in this book. It's by Michael E. Angier. That's the guy that wrote this. He says, ideas are worthless. Intentions have no power. Plans are nothing unless they are followed with action. Do it now. And I love that because a lot of times I hear people saying like, I want to do this. I want to be an emerald. I want to go on the cruise. You know what I mean? Like they have good intentions. They get excited. Like they see the vision, but they don't take the action. And you can have all the passion and all the excitement and everything, but if you let fear stop you from taking the action, you're never going to get there. So take the action, take the initiative. The one thing about leaders that I notice in our company and in other companies or in other things is that the ones that succeed the most are the ones that take the most action. They're the ones that take the initiative. They don't wait for somebody to tell them what to do. They're like, hey, I'm going to do this. Is this? And sometimes they ask for help, right? Like they'll be like, hey, I want to do this. What do you think? But they're still taking the initiative to start the ball rolling and they're not waiting for somebody else to do it for them. Like I love it when people reach out to me. I know Felicia has, she'll be like, hey, I want to do a call. Will you help me? Like she's taking the initiative. I don't have to go to her and be like, will you do a call? It's like she's taking the initiative on it. And so like as a leader, oftentimes I'm like, I want to help every single one of you, but I can't take action for every single one of you. You know what I mean? But I am here. Like if you take the initiative and you ask for my help, I will be there. I will help you. I will show up with you. I'll do calls with you. You know what I mean? I'll be in a message with you, like whatever, but you've got to take the initiative yourself. So, um, okay. So Amanda, do you want to share your tidbits from this book that she's been reading? And you guys, it's called The Power of One More. If you haven't started reading it, you can join now or whatever, but it's one of my favorite books. This is becoming a close second. That's the book that I was reading out of, The Success Principle or Success is a Choice by John Maxwell. And he's also going to be talking about talking at convention. I'm so excited to hear him. But okay, go ahead and take it away, Amanda.
Well, I think you guys have like covered the whole chapter on emotions. Like everything that you guys have said is like, well, they must have read the book because you pretty much summarized it. But Kellie, I feel like your story is exactly because I'm kind of like you. I'm a slow grower. I grew to gold really fast, but then I'm like stuck at gold and I'm just like living the gold life. So thank you for sharing your story because as someone that's on that slow journey as well, I appreciate it and I'm like so happy for you. But so this chapter is all about emotions and channeling emotions. And I got thinking about how I am an only girl. I have 3 brothers, and then I am a mom to all boys. And I think the generation when we all grew up, at least what I remember with my brothers and stuff, like boys don't cry, right? Like you don't show emotion and like you just toughen up, like tough love. You just get through or like power through. And I think now that I'm like a boy mom, I'm like, and I think the narrative is changing in this generation of allowing to feel that emotion and allowing my boys to cry it out. Like you're just fine, cry it out and let's talk about it. And then we can take action. And this chapter was about like emotions versus feelings, and feelings aren't like, emotions are deep within you and they can cause physical reactions. So you can feel something and move on. Like, I feel sorry for someone, or I feel like, if someone's sick or something, like, oh, I feel bad. And then, but it's not like causing a physical reaction in me. And going off of what you guys have both said, he talks about jealousy, and that's one of the emotions he discusses in here, which I think, especially in this realm of what we are, and as women, I've been talking to my friends here about it too, because you think you teach like your children, to be who they are and not be jealous, and own who you are. But we as grown women still struggle with that. And I think it's something we'll probably always do. We always compare. And jealousy to me is something like a hard balance. Like, you want to be so happy for them. And you are, but then, so that's the feeling, right? Your feeling is jealousy, but the emotion behind it would be, okay, what do I do with it? What do I do with that feeling of feeling jealous? Do I take it and, what did I write? Do I take that and like put it into action and make it motivate me? Like, okay, Kellie got to Sr Gold. Like, she's so empowering. Yes, I'm jealous. Yes, absolutely. I will admit that. But like, am I going to say, okay, that's motivating, dang it, like, let's go, Amanda? Or am I going to be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm never going to get there? Like, so the emotion behind it is like driving the energy behind it. And it can, again, go into action and empowerment, or negativity and envy and just like wallowing. And then that's a deep, dark hole. So he talks about 4 things of how to balance emotions, and I thought this was really good. So one is meditate. And I'm not a meditator. I have done it a couple times when I was having trouble sleeping a few years ago. But I know a lot of people do. And so I'm challenging myself to do some meditation. There's tons of free apps out there. If you guys have one that you use and like, tell me what you do, because I need some suggestions. And then 2, we've talked about, is finding a balance of work, family, life, religion, whatever it is, finding that balance and what works for you, because what works for Nicole and what works for me is going to be super different. And but finding that is key, but also not putting yourself on the back burner, because I did that for a long time, and I'm just kind of coming into my own of like, self-care is important and it's not selfish, and you need to do it. And that is a balance. Whether, I wake up at 5:30 every day to get my self-care in, and it sucks. Like, every day when I wake up, I hate myself until I get out of bed. And then I'm like, okay, like, I can do this. I always feel better when I wake up and choose myself first thing. And then 3 is identifying triggers, which I thought was really interesting. So I don't know if you guys saw my post like last week or something about like this whole self-love journey that I'm on. And it was based off of something that happened in April that triggered me. And I didn't know that it did until after the fact. And I was talking to my sister-in-law about it, and I was like, holy cow. I'm 35 and just realizing now how much of a trigger that particular event, or that how that person talks to me is. And now I look back and I'm like, I've been around this person for how long, and I've never realized how much what they say to me triggers me. And so that's where it kind of like stemmed from. I was like, okay, I recognize some triggers, and what am I going to do about it? Because listening to that trigger really affected my mental health and how I talk to myself. And that, like, I got thinking about, I love being a friend. I love giving to people. I love serving people. And if you guys were to talk bad about yourself, like, I'll be the first one to say, knock it off, like, and put you in your place and tell you how beautiful you are and how much all the good things. But then I found myself not doing that for myself. And I was like, that's so damaging to me. And it like is so weird at 35 that I'm like just realizing this. But I thought that was a really good one of like, identify what makes you like get in that negative mindset, whether that's self-love or something in the business that triggers you. But identifying that and then figuring out how to work through that. And it's going to be work, but I think it's important to identify those. And then the last one is resolve to change the way you think. And so after figuring this trigger out, I feel like I have to practice sometimes hourly, right? I'm telling myself hourly, daily, weekly, to change my thoughts about myself around this certain thing. And what do we say? Practice makes perfect. And you like fake it till you make it. So I'm just gonna fake it until one day I'm like, oh yeah, like I feel all these things naturally, and I don't have to tell myself every single day, and it may take time, but I don't know. I like those 4 things, and I like that there's simple things to do. It's not taking a long time, but it's important to recognize your emotions, feel them. It's okay to feel them, whether they're jealousy, anxiety, or joy. Recognize it, feel it, and then it's like up to you to take the action in that. So if you haven't read it, I really do suggest reading it, even though I hate self-help books. I will be the first one to admit it, but it's been such a good challenge to me. So I don't know if you guys like this book club or not, but for me, I like it because I think I need it, and it challenges me because I won't read it otherwise. So thanks for doing this, Nicole. And yeah, that's just my takeaway from chapter 5.
I love that, you guys, because Amanda really, like, I remember before she started doing the business, well, first of all, she didn't want to do the business, but I remember her being like, I don't do self-help books. Like, she loves to read, but she's like, I hate them. And so the fact that she loves the book, you guys, that speaks volumes, right? So pick up the book or the Audible and listen to it. I think I've listened to it like 2.5 times. Like, it is literally one of my favorite books. It's just so good and so relatable. And I've listened to his other book too, and it's really a short listen on Audible. So I love that. But okay, so there was a quote in a podcast that I listened to, and you guys, I don't know his name because it's like this weird, or maybe it's a her, I don't know. So I'm not going to tell you the name, but it's a tennis player. And this is what they said. They said, there's no magic pill. It takes hard work. Every great shot you hit, you've already hit a bunch of times in practice. And I love that because I think about all the times that I practiced on people that didn't go anywhere, right? Like I tried to get them silver and they didn't go anywhere. That was me practicing, right? I tried to get someone to enroll and they didn't enroll. That was me practicing. Or I'm sitting there practicing in my room or writing it out and trying to memorize it. That was me practicing. And we need to practice that way when we are under pressure, when we are in that situation, we know what to do because what we do in under pressure is always a reflex, meaning that we react according to what is habitual to us. Does that make sense? So if we're like not comfortable saying things, like if it's not a habit to talk to somebody about going silver in a nice, calm, composed way, then we're just either going to avoid it or we're going to botch it, right? Like if you want to hit that great shot that you see, like in basketball, when you see somebody under pressure, right? And it's like there's like 5 seconds left in the game and they have to make a 3-pointer or they're going to lose. And sure enough, you see those people that under pressure, they know exactly what to do because they have practiced that shot thousands of times in practice, right? So then they go and they run up to the 3-point line and they shoot it under pressure and it's a reflex and the ball goes in, right? And so I love this example because in this podcast that I was listening to, he talks about how we don't know when that next big thing is going to work for us, right? Like in our business, we don't know when the next person we talk to is going to go faster at Sr Gold. We don't know when the person that we go on a walk with is going to sign up. We don't know when that person's going to change our business. And what he said was, and he's talking about just business in general because he doesn't do network marketing. Whoa, I love your sword, buddy. So what he was saying is that we don't know until it's happened, right? Like Kellie didn't know she was going to hit Sr Gold until it happened. She didn't know that that girl getting on the call was going to do the business until it happened. And so we have to treat everybody the same because we don't know when that next person is going to come and change our entire business. We don't know. So we can't look at people and label them or think like, I don't know, I'm not going to say to her. It's like, we don't know. We just have to do it. We just have to show up. We just have to make it such a habit that we're doing the same thing over and over. And then all of a sudden, boom, that person comes along and our business skyrockets. He said, preparation pays off in a moment when a bout of nerves could disrupt even a basic play. Dominators can be wondrously creative, but they have to be, but they also are geniuses of simplicity. And that, like, to me, really stuck out to me that they can be creative, but really what they're the genius in is the simple basics. They have gotten so good at the fundamentals, you guys. They've gotten so good at hitting the ball over and over and over so that they know exactly how hard they have to hit it to go in. And so when you see somebody that's a diamond and you're like, oh my gosh, she just said that so naturally. And she just has it and I don't have it and I can't be good at it. You guys, it's only because she's practiced more than you. It's only because she's taken more shots than you. It's only because she's done it so many times that it has become a habit, that it's become a reflex to respond to that stressful situation in that way. Is that all making sense? So don't look at other people and think like they're just better than me. I don't have it. I'm like, no, they've just practiced a lot more. Because really, in order to get really good at creating silvers, in order to get really good at creating leaders, in order to get really good at getting signups and recruiting, you just have to practice the basic skills to help you so that under pressure, because you guys, you know that pressure, right? When you're talking to someone and you're like, oh, shoot, I'm talking to him. Am I going to say the right thing? You want to be able to, under pressure, know exactly what to say. That is just a skill learned and anybody can learn it. So no matter how good you are, we are creatures of habit. The better your habits are, the better you will be in pressure situations. Under pressure, you react reflexively. Those are the notes that I took on what he was saying. When you see someone that looks like a genius or a pro, what they really are the greatest at are the basics and the fundamentals. They grind to learn skills that become a reflex. Those are just like notes that I was sketching down as I was listening. And I kind of already said that, but you guys, like, I'm telling you, I don't have anything that you don't have. Like, I feel the same way that Kellie feels when she was like, I can't believe that I'm a Sr Gold. Like, I actually did it. Like, I blew my own mind. I felt that same way when I got to Emerald. Like, I was like, what? It happened? I did it? You can do it. You can blow your own mind. And what it takes, though, is it takes showing up, like she said, when you don't really want to. It takes consistency. It takes learning skills. It takes working on yourself. And I know that you guys are all capable of that, but you have to want it for yourself. You have to want it bad enough to show up. Because, like, in this book, he talks a lot about how, I think that maybe I can find it real quick. He was saying that there's 4 different types of people. Says when it comes to initiative, there are really only 4 kinds of people. I just literally flipped right to that page. Number 1, people who do the right thing without being told. That's the kind of person you want to be, right? You want to be like, I'm going to show up and just do it, whether it's like perfect or not. Like, I don't need anyone to tell me. I want it for me. Okay. They do the right thing without being told. Number 2, people who do the right thing when they are told. Number 3, people who do the right thing when told more than once. Those are my kids. Do you ever like, you're like, do the dishes. And then you're like, do the dishes. I need you to do the dishes. Do the dishes. And you tell them like 8 more times and then the dishes get done. And you're like, oh. So people that need to be told more than once. And then number 4 are people who never do the right thing no matter what, right? There's 4 types of people. We get to choose which one we are. And we have to stop worrying about doing it perfectly. Really. Like, the number 1 thing that's held me back in my business is the thought that I'm going to do it wrong. Can you guys relate to that? Like, the thought that I'm like, but what if I do it and I scare her away and then we're not friends and then she never wants to talk to me again and then she never wants to do the business? Like, what if I say it wrong? You guys, The only way to get good is to practice, right? Like, just look at those people as practice and give yourself grace to do it wrong. But just know that the people that succeed are the people that take the initiative without being asked, the people that set out a plan, the people that map out their goals, the people that go for it. Like, do you know how many points you need for your next rank? I reached out to Felicia. I don't remember if I reached out to Leanne, but I think it was Felicia. I was like, did you know you only need 4 orders to hit your next rank? Let's do this next month. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's like, just know your goal and then just dig in and go for it. And there's a chance you might not hit it. And nobody's going to die if you don't. It's totally okay if you don't. But you definitely aren't going to hit it if you don't have a plan and if you don't know where you're going and if you're not focused and if you don't take initiative, then you're 100% not going to hit it. So the best solution is like, just show up and try. And the more that you work on yourself, like Kellie was saying, and what Kellie's been doing, the more that everything will just kind of eventually come to be, right? You're energetically going to be that match for it. So do you know your goal for June? And if you don't, then Leanne's like, I don't. If you don't know it, then let's get clear on it. I will help you. I will help you, Leanne. Let's get clear on it. And I want it to be your goal, not my goal, right? Like I know my goals, but my goals are also your goals. Like what Kellie said is there's no way I could have gotten there on my own. You guys, I feel the same way about Sapphire. I know exactly in my brain. I have it written up in a big poster. I have what I think your goals are on the poster, and I have what I'm trying to create outside of you on the poster. And I am like, oh, okay. So since January, like I needed this many golds to get to my outside leg points. But now I only need, like I needed like 5 at the beginning of January to hit my outside leg points for Sapphire. And now I only need like 2 golds. So I'm like, okay, I'm growing, even though sometimes I tell my husband, I'm like, it really feels like nothing's happening. And I have heard this so many times in podcasts where people are like, when you're growing and when things are coming together, it honestly feels like nothing's happening until all of a sudden it happens. Like, isn't that so true? But if you don't map it out, you don't see that. Like, I would have felt like I wasn't going anywhere if I didn't have that all mapped out. And I could go, wait a minute, I actually have grown. The funny thing is like my points have actually stayed about the same, but my outside leg points have grown. So, because points are always fluctuating, right? Like my main leg points kind of dropped, my outside leg points kind of went up, but my points have stayed the same. So, looking at my points, like I was like, I'm not going anywhere. But because I have it mapped out and because I'm present and I'm here and I want to help you guys on your goals, I know exactly what I need to do. Do I have control over whether you guys go for your goal or not? No. I don't have control over whether Leanne wants to hit gold again or whether Liska wants to hit gold or whether she goes for, I don't have any control over that, but I can always work on developing new silvers and new leaders outside of that while I help you. And you guys, that's how growth happens. Because sometimes we just get laser focused on just getting enrollments, but the biggest growth happens when we develop people, and we can't develop people if we don't develop ourselves. So let me know what your goal is. I want to help you reach it. I really, really truthfully want to help you reach it because I know the way that it benefits you. And I know that we rise together, right? Like I can't hit my goal without you. And I believe you can't hit your goal without me because we work together hand in hand. And that's the beautiful thing about this business is the growth that happens together. And I truthfully believe that it bonds us forever together. Like I have special bonds with each one of you that I love so much and I cherish. So, use the simple systems. Get people on the calls, get people in the groups, post regularly, work on yourself, do your follow-up. Follow-up is so, so important, and that is where silvers happen. So, okay, I have all my kids in here now. You guys, thank you for listening. I love you. Reach out to me with your goals, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.